So first of all, the first line says import package flutter. So that's basically us importing all the widgets we're going to use while building the Flutter app. So the main function is the entry point of any Dart or Flutter app. So that's why we have the main function here, and it's void because we don't expect it to return anything. Here in this place, we have a run app, and then we have the cons to-do list app. So the run app is simply telling Flutter what we want to show on the screen first. Like, this is the first function we want to run. Now if you check, we defined to-do list app widget here, and this is it. So we are saying this, we are passing this as a parameter sort of into the, or I would say an argument into the run app function. So yeah, if you hover over it, you see it's a void function, and if it shows that it's supposed to accept a widget as a parameter. So basically the widget is the to-do list app. Now the to-do list app is, like I said, a widget. So it's a stateless widget. Then we go ahead to set the title. So basically stateless means we don't expect it to change. We don't expect, so that's why we see if you check, it's still within the class. So everything here is within the class to-do list app. So what we're trying to say is we don't expect the title to change, neither do we expect the theme to change, neither are we expecting the home to change. So that's why we created it with a stateless widget. So that's basically all we are seeing there. So then the next thing is the task. So here we are this is where each or to-do list item is going to be stored. So it requires a title, and so this required is basically just saying this must be imputed. So it requires the title, that's this, and by default the task, if it is completed, is set to false. Why? Because we don't expect you to create a task that is already completed. So by default the task is completed option is false, and it's a boolean value. So that's it. The title is a string. So the title is basically the same thing as the task. So if you're going to say I want to buy bread, it's going to be I want to buy bread, and you're going to enter there. You're not entering oh bread and then under there's like a note where you say I want to buy bread. You basically enter everything in the title space. So it's more like, what do you want to do? This is what I want to do, and there's a space to mark complete, and then you can delete the task. Then we have our to-do list home page. So this is where the task will be shown, and if you see, we use a stateful widget here as opposed to the previous time when we used the stateless widget. And why we use the stateful widget is because now this is when the task is going to be shown. So obviously we expect the task list to change. So stateful widgets are used when we expect the page, whatever page it is, to change. Here we are dealing with the home page. Basically we have just one page. You can add the task on that page, you can mark the task completed on that page, and you can delete the task on that page. So even if it's just with one task, the state is changing simply by adding, because before that task wasn't there, now it's there. The state is also changing when we get to mark it complete, because before the task is completed variable was set to false. Now we are changing that by marking it true. And the state is also changing when we are marking when we are trying to delete it, because the task is existing and now we want to take it out of existence. So the state is changing, so that's why we're using a stateful widget. So the next thing we have here is task. You can see this is a list because of the square bracket. So whenever you see a square bracket, usually signifies a list. So but we set it to an empty list. So if we hover over it, let's see. So it's a list. Now this list is going to store all the tasks. That's it. This list is going to store all the tasks we're going to create. So it's empty right now, but by the time we add one to the list, it's going to show it's going to be added here, and it's going to continue adding on as a list. Here we are at this page. So what we are doing here is basically, so this whole block is simply saying check if the text input is empty, and if it's not, add a new task to the list. So, and when it adds a new task to the list, as this task list up here, it refreshes the page using set states. So set state is the function used to notify the framework that the internal state of the object has changed, refreshing it and setting it to the new state of the task. So yeah, now this one is to check. It's like a checkbox, you know, if task is completed and if task is not. So this will check this when you click the box. We're going to run it very soon. So when you click the box, if task is completed, it changes the state from false to true. But if it's not ticked, meaning the task is not completed, it remains false. And then as usual, set state updates the UI, that's the page. Now to delete task, the same thing we do. It removes. So this index you're seeing here, you know, like I said, we have a lot of tasks. So imagine you have a task that runs, you've updated your page to have 10 tasks. So we obviously what we see is just clicking the delete button for the particular task we want to delete. But Flutter is able to identify the task we want to delete because of the use of index. So you can see it takes a parameter index here. So it's when we delete it, probably we deleted a task that according to Flutter has index 5. So it's going to look for index 5 and use the method remove at. It's a built-in method, and take out it's a list method, by the way, and take out the task with such an index, and as usual reset the state of the UI using set state. So when the page refreshes, it's not going to have the task that was recently deleted. So yeah. Now this whole section here is like the user interface section, where we see designing the whole everything, the colors, the font size, and many other things where we inputted what is your to-do list for today. So this area is the name as the top bar, then all this is like design and styles. And this children is a list. If you check it, if you see well, it's a list. Exactly. So there's a text field, the design for the text field, and that ends here. So this thing here is simply saying when a particular button is clicked, and that is actually this button. So when you click this button, we are saying add task that issue. Once you click this button, this function should run. So if what you clicked is not empty, if you did not click an empty space, we are saying this should run. So that's basically what this line is saying here. This one too is for the checkbox. So you can see the end. Flutter VS Code actually makes it easy to know what you're dealing with. So see, this is the icon button. I'm getting the plus, and then this E is the checkbox. So you can see that what we said here is unchanged. ToDo index. So if the box is changed to mark, it toggles the task. The state is changed from false to true, but then if we uncheck it after checking it, it goes back to being false. And then for delete task, when you click the button that represents delete state, that's the icons that delete. You can see that when I hover over it, it already gives me the delete sign. So we're seeing when we click that button here, let me just add a thing. So we mark it complete, then we see delete. So when we click this button, we are expecting the tags to delete. So meaning we're saying when we click this button, run this function. So that's basically all that our app has. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty much explanatory, and if there's anything I missed out on, feel free to let me know in the comment section and I will be sure to answer. Bye guys.